just the executes with a lot of the splits, being able to get up onto that box in art, a little bit past and peek into the site while also getting onto default. Jet is still super viable, and I think this makes a lot of sense for a little bit of a last minute switch, kind of interchangeable without changing too much, without focusing on trying to get a double duelist in instead. And I think for this team on FlyQuest, comp is really good. We're going to see Ev instead on the fade instead of the KO, but Jazzy really well played on the flash initiators just in general. In his pistol though, we're going to see FlyQuest start with a 3-2, using that knife to get a little bit of information, get some info, and also farm those orbs on KO.
Sari's here with the Headhunter bullets, ready to go. And actually has completely skirted around these FlyQuest members. Melia will best her on that exchange. Just a completely peculiar way to start off a round. And FlyQuest have a B site with 2 players still in A main, by the way. Look at Jazzy and Thea completely on the other side of the universe. This is a problem now for FlyQuest because this retake is coming in fairly quickly. Ghost still wondering if there's players going to be coming back in from mid. And I don't know, maybe Thea has a pull she can use from max range. She's trying to give some support down as Vanitas will turn around and best Jazzykins. A ridiculous round. Thea now finding herself in a 1-on-3. There's the pull to slow it down at the start. But now these shots have to be found, and they just simply will not be. I have no idea what I just watched, Athena.
I agree with you. Sari getting timinged on B. Gets picked off. FlyQuest speeds up. But the 2 players in A main are still in A main for way too long. They overstayed, like you said, for way too long, and the second that Ghost clocked that, they saw Jazzy going towards that mid, losing that fight. They didn't spot Astra on the execute. They were just like, hey, we can just take this. And that's where the neon stuns on Khaleesi do come in handy sometimes, is when you're taking that space, re-clearing, and retaking onto the site, clearing that back halls together. And that's what I wanted to see from Ghost, just a lot more trading together with how explosive they are.
Athena, our neon player has bought Odin in round 2. I love the universe we live in on Pearl is something I think everyone should strive for this to be what we live in, what we exist in. Ghost with the full-on buy up here, and FlyQuest this time around are gonna take their sweet time scaling in, because there could be an Odin on the other side. You never know. I'm looking at I can see Athena's webcam right now. Her face has left the screen. She's just absolutely cackling. It's wonderful. FlyQuest have made their way into the site just to get the plant here. Success enough for them. It's full classics, and surprise, surprise, now you face down against Khaleesi's Odin. It is here in full force, and the defuse already underway. Ev is going to be taken down at the end, and a successful round 2 story for Ghost Gaming.
Yeah, so the answer for a movement nerf is to just buy an Odin. You know?
Yeah, obviously.
If
just
you
stand
can't
still.
move, just stand still.
That's actually genius. Someone has to call the VCT teams. Someone call them up, let them know. Khaleesi sitting 3-0 now. I think there was only 1 Odin kill there, so we'll see. This is the round where it could do some serious damage potentially.
Yeah, 4 players on this A side, 3 of them trying to aggress, and this could be a bloodbath because it looks like both teams are determined on getting this orb, or at least that space.
Is this how Ghost Gaming got the 13-0? That's my question for you. Oh no, no one breaks the haunt. Khaleesi's full blind and unpunished with the Odin, just shift walking further forward and laying down some ammunition into the star.
Coming back.
At the same time, Melia has gotten this huge lurk up into connector. The defense chamber has the full push down B long, so it means Ghost don't have to over-rotate. Just now holding in spawn as Gia takes down that lurk. And now FlyQuest are completely boxed into this A side, Athena.
Yeah, Eli using that run it back to get all that information towards mid. Fly is going to hear that, but they're still just walking around. Sari has all of B, peeking into spawn, hopefully not overextending. There's so much information here for Ghost, and they're in a really good position here, Ender.
Sari pushed all the way up here. Heavy armor on Thea, so a little bit more of a challenge with the Outlaw. But here's all these players now going down into street. So Ghost Gaming can start these rotations, get some bodies moving over to the right side of the map. Sari has to switch over to the Headhunter, got one bullet down in Thea. So now she's down extremely low. Benitez spotted out. We'll chuck out a haunt. If there's any spam that can be followed up, because the rest of Ghost is now working their way into the site. Not wasting a single moment here. With Ev backed into the corner, has no bullets left into the tank, and unloads for another kill. It's just the Jet now in the mix. Edith now caught between 3 players, and Sari will take her down from long. It's starting, Myrna. Ghosts now have 3 in a row.
They did this last map, though. We can't forget they did this last map. They need to lock in and keep up this aggression. Being able to have the confidence, especially from Sari, to get that B line after all that information is given from a main was really nice. For FlyQuest, we talked about how their tempo didn't really punish them last game, just sitting in their defaults, being able to hold. But now when you think about it, that's 2 rounds now that FlyQuest should have sped up. First round being the pistol, 2 players still stuck in A main and not rotating. And this last round against a bonus, seeing 4 players towards that A site and still opting to just sit there and hold without re-clearing properly. It's a little bit of a struggle, and I need to see FlyQuest speed up in these rounds.
Well, they might be speeding up into the wrong place here. Khaleesi actually backs away from the angle in mid. I tell a lie, and maybe Khaleesi should have backed away. Edith had gone for the hero buy into this round, remembering exactly how Split started off. The 3-0 beginning from Ghost into FlyQuest, winning on a bad buy. So now with the opening kill, FlyQuest can retrace their steps and maybe try for a B-pop. Oh no, Eli is stepping straight into it. Melia will just take that one shot and back away. But this is a staple of Ghosts. If they ever lose a player, you've just got people starting to walk out anywhere, and this time that turret's gonna spot her.
Yeah, Eli just instantly re-clearing and getting all that information, knowing that they're falling back, and all this noise now is gonna be held by Sari. She needs to get one of these picks and be able to hold off the retake.
She might need more than one. Already getting chipped away at by the Nanoswarm. And that teleport puts her right into the corner. The wrap could still come in. Somehow Sari's still alive here. Will eventually be taken down by Ev. So numbers still held on to, and that Odin that Ev picked up off of Khaleesi's corpse is now a devastating tool in the post plant. Ghost have to somehow get back through some choke points versus an Odin and an Op. Not to mention Jazzy's utility continuing to slow the forward progression from Ghost. Now a high-low held. And Benitez has to swing back into it. Jazzy's first kills of the map are going to be the most important. Secure this Thrifty for FlyQuest.
That round literally turned around so quick. They had the numbers advantage from Ghost. They had the information as well. Sari getting 2 picks and dying on site, that was still really good. They did their job really well. But the retake, Eli swinging out a link way too early when the team wasn't ready. They really need to tighten up that timing and that spacing on these swings and on these trades. If Sari's alone on site, just let her be. You can't help her that much. You should just wait for the rest of your team and equalize those numbers once again. But instead, they're opting for a nice little mid-take. They're getting that information. Sari's pushed all the way up. They have the trip on that B, but they're not going to be expecting just a 5-man push here from FlyQuest.
Yeah, Ghost actually buy up into this round, even though it'll just be a sheriff for Gia. Looking at a full-on retake. And FlyQuest's ultimates are going to be really brutal for Ghost to actually activate the utility or get anything done. First player now spotted. We'll see how long they hold on to him. The first wave is Jazzy's ulti. Right now, Ghost can't use utility to get back into the site. And if they wait that out, then there's going to be the Nightfall on top of it. You're faced with this impossible decision. Do you contact in and take the fight without utility, or do you wait until you're decayed by the Nightfall? Luckily for them, the Nightfall goes the absolute wrong direction, so the patience pays off. Eli to land the first, and now a flash through that smoke, just charging in through the nanos. It'll be Khaleesi clearing out backside, but so little time left. They're gonna have to stop that pull from being a factor. There's not enough time left as the spam comes down. The stall from the ultimates wins out for FlyQuest.
Yeah, that stall was phenomenal. You were calling it exactly how it was. The KOL to delay, the Nightfall coming in, even though it went the wrong way, it still delayed them for long enough that FlyQuest could play that post plant. Ghost, they've had a couple of really good retakes now. They're really good at taking that back call and refighting towards B. They just unfortunately gambled wrong that round. Sari not anywhere near the site, not able to get that initial pick, being able to get the info fast enough for rotates to come in. They gambled towards that mid, but it almost was a good round. But the delay from FlyQuest was just phenomenal.
Curveball ready. Out from double doors, turned away from, but Khaleesi will land a kill. Opening exchange goes Ghost's way. Off a nice little 1-2 setup. Now FlyQuest decide not to actually advance further into the mid space. They regroup back into A.
I think a really nice thing that Ghost has been doing now when they have this double duelist setup is Eli being able to be aggressive with Khaleesi. I was asking for it on that split game because a lot of the time Khaleesi was overextending alone, but now Eli is there to get the trades.
Jiggling for now. Spots one player, maybe two, and now Khaleesi advances forward. It's a great timing caught by the duelist. A 4K for Ghost's 4th round of the map.
I'm sorry for doubting the Neon, Khaleesi. That's my bad.
Hey, it's looking nice here. 8-2 start. You gotta respect it.
Yeah, that's really nice. I really like the way that Ghost is playing around their defensive side. That last round 5, they gambled towards mid, and it just was unfortunate because FlyQuest decided to do a 5-person hit. But this round was a lot nicer, a lot cleaner, and a lot more what I want to see from Ghost, using the double duelist to get some sort of aggression. That Phoenix flash curving around the door, getting those picks. Yes, there were a couple back and forth trades, but it doesn't matter because they had the numbers advantage. And the most important thing is the Ghost fell back into a nice little crossfire setup. Off of Eli's contact, we saw Khaleesi swing, get that pick, and then go for the 2nd and the 3rd. And that was really nice to see. It's something that Ghost, we didn't get to see a lot of their defense side on that first map, where they did a lot of these trades, where they did a lot of these little crossfire setups. So it's really nice to see. I think here, though, for FlyQuest, they're going to be scrambling a little bit. They obviously are on low money. They have a couple of these ults, but probably don't want to use them. Maybe the jet knives to try to get any hero picks, but nothing too crazy. I think they just need to bait out a lot of that util, especially now knowing that we're going to be seeing a lot of Eli together with Khaleesi, getting those picks, getting the aggression, just being able to wait for that util and then end in some sort of hit for Fly.
Well, that early fight is going to be headed A main this time around for Ghost. Throwing the blaze over the top just to secure the orb control for now. That's going to give Eli now the run it back into the round. FlyQuest move street.
This is a nice little execute from FlyQuest, but look at Ghost. 3 of them pushing towards this A main, and they might just catch off Melia.
Melia does have a Guardian. Best person to patrol against this push if Ghost continue going forward. Ghost have often been punished back on split by going for these over-aggressive lockdowns. And this is an anti-eco. Rounds that you typically don't want to go too far forward in.
Joke's over.
Especially because FlyQuest aren't giving information over. The run it back actually, well, it looks like you just lost an ultimate. Protects Ghost from going crazy, and then Eli steps into it again at the same time that their teammates are stepping backwards. Melia, one more kill is a miracle for FlyQuest. Now if Sari is dealt with down on long with Hunt, can come in. Now the Hunt has calmed down. FlyQuest have just run through Ghost. Ghost look completely scattered. Maybe Sari could be a hero, maybe Khaleesi. Devin this off angle. That's not going to be easy. Nice shot lands. Now Khaleesi drops down the wall. Enter into the site. Both players up in heaven. Really unorthodox post-plant position. Now 3 kills onto the round. Khaleesi may have just done enough. Jazzy, back onto the angle. Already stuck to half. Can't waste a bullet here with 5 left in the tank. Jazzy has done it. The Red Bull clutch. And a 3rd for Fly.
What a crazy back and forth round. Jazzy being able to get those last 2 kills was kind of insane. Khaleesi being flashed, not being able to hold for Sari. And again, some of these small things that we talked about for Ghost, not being able to play together, not swinging off each other. After getting the spike to half, just peeking together and trying to get that pick on Jazzy to deny that Red Bull clutch. But again, Jazzy really well played. It seems like whoever touches KO on this FlyQuest side tends to turn it into gold almost every single time. But that was such a back and forth round ender. It looked like FlyQuest had the upper hand, and then all of a sudden Ghost came back, got those picks, and then Jazzy just ending it out with such a nice clutch. Kind of crazy, but now Fly looking towards their mid, playing it slow once again because they know that Ghost is just going to keep regressing into them.
FlyQuest are even doing this in a lot of their attack rounds back on Split, where they just sort of allow Ghost to lose to boredom. This time it's Edith. I'm not sure, maybe there was something pretty on the wall that looked a little bit more interesting than a player over in Heart, because that is not the way you want a round to start for FlyQuest. That's going to pull out a lockdown for the A site now. Ghost playing all their members just behind that for now. Another ultimate committed from Fly. It's an anti-eco here. FlyQuest have already lost a player, so now they're throwing everything into this to make sure they hold on to the round. It'll be the fight over Art that determines everything. Jazzy just helping stall out and provide some support for Ev tucked in the corner. Now Jazzy just challenges the line herself. She wants this all on her own. Now the double face down as Sari will eventually find herself traded out. The slide forward dealt with. And Ghost, just as they got into this round, have seemingly lost the plot. Melia lands the final kill and ties us up at 4.
I think FlyQuest getting a little spooked and using 2 ults there might have been a tiny bit of overkill, but it doesn't matter because they won the round. They really wanted to make sure they secured that winning condition. Really nice shout out again for Jazzy for that util, using the knife to scan 3 of those players towards spawn on the retake and opting to take that line towards A link, fighting deep into garden because she knows that all these players are going to be coming from spawn and choosing to take that weak spot, take that fight and gamble getting more map control in that post hunt. And now FlyQuest, it looks like they're going to keep doing that same thing, playing a little bit slow, opting to hold mid, but Khaleesi with the operator picking off Ev.
That's a way to get another opener. It's never been a problem for Ghost, landing these first kills. And another one steps in. Another one bites the dust. Khaleesi already with 2 quick kills into the round. Another challenger maybe? Flash in. This time, a second lease on life for Jazzy. Counter stun thrown out, and FlyQuest will try their luck into Art this time. Not sure here how much Ghost is going to give them. Right now, just 2 players back in secret. FlyQuest full contact their way in. Can't play their hand too early here, or else Ghost would be able to rotate in. So just facing up for the fight, but Gia's going to punish them in a massive way. 2 instant kills. This round just completely won by the good work from the operator early and Gia later. Melia still worried about an eventual flank coming in, but I think we saw this same round in the 1-on-4 back on Split where Melia just didn't even play it out. Chose to save in the long run, and that's exactly what she's going to do here.
Yeah, definitely the smarter decision. With this save, they have enough to full buy that next round. Make up for Edith's poor economy there. But as I say that, Khaleesi actually going for another reaggression. Somehow getting it with 10 seconds of the round left, getting that pick.
Would you be upset if you just played a round where at the start of the round you saw Neon opping Street, and then you find out that Neon never moved the entire round?
Absolutely. I would be so mad. And I would be like, dude, why did I go back? I know she was there with the op. Like, why did I go back? I think Khaleesi, though, getting those picks was really nice. And now FlyQuest, they have a new layer of worry to kind of be concerned about. They need to use that util to spot Khaleesi with that operator and be able to deny. You'd think the chamber has it, but Khaleesi's actually the one. But they're both on this B site.
Yeah, Khaleesi's unlocked the tech of just stand still on the Neon on patch 12.09. That's going to work out for another opening pick as well. The op in her hands has been excellent so far. FlyQuest. Nightfall ready to go. Last round 2, or 2 ago, they committed ultimates after losing a very early member. Again, it'll be that Nightfall coming out. But Ghoster gonna fight for this one. Oh no! FlyQuest just leveled 2 players instantly. Khaleesi still stuck behind a smoke in heaven. So this will be an easy plant now for FlyQuest. And Ghost have to somehow piece together a retake idea. Vanitas has a Nightfall to throw that one in, but Khaleesi doesn't have an opportunity to pick up a gun easily, I don't believe. I believe one was pinged out around pillar on site. But a smoke will come in. They'll start inching their way forward. A nice haunt, though, from Ev. I love the timing of utility from this player. They've been absolutely locked in today on these last 2 maps. Just shutting Ghost out of this round. It'll be a save on the operator, and we're tied again.
Yeah, this is a good save here. They need to keep that operator in rotation. It's been the reason why they've gotten so many of those opening kills at this point. But for FlyQuest, really well played. Big shout out to Melia. This has been a couple rounds now where Melia has gotten those picks towards that mid on a really nice timing. They recognized that there was no aggression towards that mid from Ghost on that setup. They recognized that Khaleesi was opping towards that B, and so they took their timing towards that mid. She got the pick on that player towards that B link, and actually that kind of solidified the round for them because you lose your Phoenix for Ghost, you lose your flashes. The retake is just a tiny bit harder, especially when you have an operator instead of Neon with a rifle to be able to just zoom into sight. And again, this B hit ended.
And again, the opener. That's 3 in a row with the op for Khaleesi. Absolutely wonderful start. I mean, Khaleesi's been running away with this game. I think 15 kills already. Make it another. Double opener again. Khaleesi on fire right now. Make that one a 3rd. Good lord, someone stop her in the corner. No one's going to step up to the challenge this time around for FlyQuest. As Jazzy bleeds out in the corner of Melia's screen. She is just a sitting duck here. Flush on default. The flames go up and Eli will finish off this round. Another banger out from Khaleesi.
Yeah, FlyQuest here, they're full committing to these hits, which is not what we normally see from this team. Normally, we see them using the util to get information and being able to poke and prod and go the other way. But this time, they don't have the ults to push back Khaleesi. Last round, they used that Nightfall to make sure they could get the site and push Khaleesi off that site. But this time, they just ran up one by one. Khaleesi, really good repositioning to get those angles. But Ghost, they have 4 ults online for the last round in this half. Eli with that run it back, able to take whatever information they need to do, and they're using it towards that mid to fight a lot of that info.
Was shift walking at the start here, but that's going to mean the running back times out before there's any value found, I'd imagine. So this fight now coming into the B site. Sari has to slip away into heaven. Good utility to keep her at bay. Just a little bit of an angle to work with here. There's not a smoke for heaven, and it doesn't even matter. FlyQuest fight. It was coming back into spawn. So instead, FlyQuest run all the way around the map, catch Ghost out on 2 different nice timings. Khaleesi will switch over to a Vandal now. Lightning at the ready. The wall is too, but so many spots being held. That crossfire absolutely deady through the fire of it all. It will be FlyQuest all the way, and this half ties up even.
Switching sides.
If hitting B doesn't work, just split B instead.
Yeah,
and that's
just hit it
kind
a
of the
different
answer.
way.
Hit it with 2 angles at once. FlyQuest, really well played, actually. Ghost, they had 4 ults online and they still couldn't convert that round. It's kind of insane. I think using that Phoenix ult towards mid was a really good timing, but unfortunately, like you said, walking, losing the actual good timing on being able to get the information towards that B link was a really big downfall. And I think as well, just not being ready for that split overall. But 6-6, tied up. We're now in this pistol. Second half, Ghost on the attack. We see them play a little bit more aggressive than FlyQuest, grouping up a lot more. And it looks like they're opting to go towards this B main hit here, where 2 of these players from Fly are sitting.
Yeah, doubled up on the line for now. Actually, it was Edith full hiding in the corner. So just trying to sell it as a little bit more passive. No one's clearing Edith from that one. The bait works out to perfection. Now the flash is into back sight. Eli will follow up on that, but it's a bit of a mess. FlyQuest have already flooded down into the site. Vanitas, for 3 kills, was so clutch for Ghost back on split, but on 15 HP, you cannot afford to miss a single bullet here. And Thea could be anywhere. Right now, she's made it all the way into backside, catching a brutal timing. Vanitas fakes the plant, needs to keep going forward. There's not much time left, and Thea will remind them of it. FlyQuest jump out to an early lead.
Wow, what a bloodbath in that back hall. All the crosses towards that back of B was insane. But yeah, really nice setup. Edith and Melia being able to just hold. Edith not getting cleared was obviously a big reason why she managed to get one of those picks, but Melia being able to get a trade and then following up, a lot of these players from FlyQuest being able to flood in so quickly and get those trades was really nice. Of course, Thea with a sick timing into back hall, really well played, and now they're looking to play out their anti-eco. FlyQuest, they do a good job with rounds like these because they tend to be pretty passive as it is, and they're opting to leave Edith on this line, looking towards that market, not getting any information. But I think Thea has heard something towards this A main, getting that info and falling off right away.
Yeah, I'm surprised she got away with just taking the orb on her own, as Khaleesi just sprints past Ev. Again, these corners being ignored a little bit, and it's coming back to bite Khaleesi every single time. The attack side is where Ghost really struggled, I think, in terms of breaking FlyQuest's early holds. And so far, that's been a staple here on Pearl as well. Of course, the weak buy this time around, but gonna need to see some changes on the entries from Ghost. They want to turn this one back in their favor. No issues yet in this anti-eco, just Gia counting out her final moments in the corner. She's got 38 of them. Finally, that knife getting a tag. The question here is how aggressively is Melia going to keep walking here on the flank? She actually has a Phantom, but will eventually come in from the back and get that kill. No knife shenanigans this time, just easy work from Fly.
No shenanigans, but again, well played from Fly. This is where they tend to excel under, holding those defaults, playing a little bit passive. Edith getting that line towards mid and instantly falling off once they realize that a lot of the noise is not going to be towards that side of the map. The retakes were nice. They didn't even have to retake because the hold was really good. Ev just being able to swing out of that smoke on a time bank to help Thea on that site. Anchoring is really nice. It's looking really rough here for Ghost, but they're on their rifle by now. They have their weapons, and they're choosing to go for this A again. Maybe trying to punish Thea since they knew that she was getting the orb last round.
I mean, if they can get onto the site, it's good news because Edith bought an operator on B. That's going to be tough to retake with. But if Ghost pivot back into the off, I do not like their odds at all. So far, they just take that orb, Myrna, and slow things down for the time.
Yeah, getting more information towards that mid, not overextending. Trying to hold to see if there's any aggression from FlyQuest because, again, they are on a little bit of a low buy. They still don't know about that operator yet. Yazzy's going to get spotted towards that B link. But it's going to send them into actually an A art split.
Yeah, they're keeping their options open right now, with Sari pulling some attention back B, but I like how Ghost have navigated this round so far. Down under the 45-second mark, as again they test over onto A, but I think they want to finish back B, and this is going to cost them. FlyQuest have not flinched over on this side of the map. Unless Sari gets the opener, which I'm just not sure she's going to be able to do. There's a stun actually thrown out from their Astra over by A. We're under 30 seconds left. The spike doesn't know quite where to go, so it'll be back towards the A side, where there is still a stack of 3 FlyQuest members for now. Already, Khaleesi has made her way into the site. Now ready to pop out from behind that smoke, but Ev will take her down. Now 10 seconds remaining. The spam to come through this wall could be devastating. Vanitas barely gets the spike onto the ground, but at what cost? Because FlyQuest are here to stay. Eli keeps her team into the round, and now with the run it back, evens the playing field. Eli needs something here, and on the other side, Sari will take down 2. A perfect timing caught on the late lurk through spawn. And now Edith's operator has to close cover the corner. It's good enough at the beginning. Now Eli getting up into the middle of everything, quick on the timing, and this shorty from Edith will deliver the killing blow to the Phoenix. This round somehow through it all goes to FlyQuest.
This was an insane round. Sari with a really good timing, really good discipline. Being able to hold that lurk for so long and just be a nuisance towards that B site and force Fly not to rotate fast enough. But Edith hiding that operator for so long, being able to hold the line, getting the information, and then just clutching it out like that. What an insane round from Edith. And now the operator stays alive for FlyQuest. They have so much more information than Ghost opted for them to kind of have. And Ghost, they're on this little bit of a low buy. Sari with a Vandal. Shotgun on Khaleesi. But this is looking a little scarier for Ghost.
Oh my. Melia just steps in there. Maybe a little too confident after Edith's Red Bull clutch. Now Ghost gonna be happy to realize there's no Killjoy utility into this round. Of all the people to early kill, that is maybe just the best one. And a trade as well onto Ev. FlyQuest have gotten pretty sloppy here, offering up some very tradable duels at the start of this round. Now Edith has sprinted through B main, so FlyQuest are calling in the rotates now, but Thea is completely cornered, boxed in, and it'll be Ghost up 2 players in this post plant. They've upgraded 3 players now into having rifles. And if Edith accomplishes anything on this flank, it would be an absolute miracle. That's 1 kill, and she's choosing to go back into art. That's a lot of time to be spent to move back this pathing into the site. Especially with Jazzy dying on site. If Jazzy gets a kill and turns some attention back, maybe. But now it's just way too slow. I think Edith maybe planning to hold on to this operator at this point. A kill to pad the stats on the way out, but that's all it will mean as Ghosts take their 7th.
Yeah, trying to get some exits and save the op is definitely the right call here. FlyQuest, we talked a lot about their defense, and now they're starting to fall apart at the seams a little bit, having so many gaps, players not playing together. Thea taking that A main control, trying to farm that orb once again, but that meant that leaving that player towards that link, Ev being alone, was not good. Art was taken so quick, especially when you're playing against a Thrifty. It's really hard when you're just so separated around the map like that, but they do get to keep the operator, which means that this round isn't completely out of the books yet. They can hold that line. Edith opting to go for an art peek, but Ghost, they have 2 ults, and they have rifles here.
Flash back into mid. Both teams throw down the utility, but neither of them actually want to fire a bullet. FlyQuest trying to rein it in after the last round got a little messy. And so Ghost are just gonna sprint down into B long now. Full Killjoy utility set up and ready to go at this. Khaleesi does not even care. Even breaking some util on the entry pathing. Where is anyone else on Ghost to find the trades? There's gonna be a util kill from Eli, as now Sari has that flash to set up into backside. Eli is taking over in this round. Great work on the opening frags and the curveballs. But still these spikes, these smokes make a mess of the site. Spam exchanging fire on either side. With control now from heaven, Edith will not have a shot. That smoke posing too much of a problem for now. And Eli has gone all the way around the world, finishes off the round with a 3rd kill.
Khaleesi doing a great job, actually, getting a lot of that information towards site, using that neon to just make space for the rest of her team. It did look a little bit scary because no one is there to trade, especially after Melia got that first pick. But it doesn't matter because, like you said, Eli is here back to save the day, getting that 3K. Being able to be confident, using the flashes around the corner to re-clear backhaul was very well played. And now this is going to be a rifle round for both these teams with 4 ults online for FlyQuest. And they're using it to play aggressive towards that A main, but the Molly is going to stop them.
Fearless from Khaleesi once more. Edith sticking around, and that could be the punish. Eli just charges on in there, sending herself fully into the side. Look at that. Trying to open up something, whereas the other side of the map, there was the pick found, and that's going to call the rotates in from Ghost to the B side.
Sari all the way up this long B, but Melia is still here. So much util. Breaking that alarm bar is going to ring some alarms for FlyQuest, but they're so slow. The lockdown's going to go down. Looks like Ghost is not too scared yet. They're just going to hold for this. But Eli, again, coming online that last round, being really confident. And this whole time, Gia has got so much space for Dart.
Yeah, but it's still going to be the B hit, and the rotates have already come in now. So Melia staying alive backside is critical. There's a gap in the wall. Vanitas will trade that one out, but still Melia has not been flushed out. Ghosts are only playing with 2 people on this site for now. 30 seconds left on the clock. Still waiting on Gia to make it over here. So instead, having to rely now on their Phoenix player, but now that Phoenix is down. And Gia, a little bit too late to the party. Still needs to pick up the spike, still needs those kills, and a double swing, nicely coordinated from FlyQuest, will secure this round.
Yeah, really well played for FlyQuest. I really like that they were able to get into that retake and just hold together. They weren't too worried. I thought the rotates would have come in just a little bit faster after hearing all that noise, but it's like they know that Melia can just sit there and delay for so long that FlyQuest can take their time getting to the site. Melia has been really annoying to deal with on this B side for Ghost, constantly either getting one or just delaying for so long, using that lockdown at such a really nice timing. And then of course the late rotate was kind of hard to deal with, but fully main control again from Ghost. They're trying to find the loose threads that FlyQuest is kind of leaving around the map and trying to pick off Edith, but Edith just holding for that mid, gambling away from where the group is every round.
Well, Ghost aren't going to be able to bank on any ults this round, so instead, maybe a chance on the lurk. Oh, Sari gives over just an elbow there. Not enough for Edith to prepare themselves for the kill. That cedes a lot of control now into Art, into mid. Ghost certainly looking to challenge that. But with Khaleesi still here in A main, it looks like that pivot is going to come back into A. FlyQuest rotate too heavily towards the B side. That leaves them just with control over Secret on A. The hit, flash in, and the utility. Counter Nightfall though. FlyQuest have plenty to work with here too. That decay takes that duelist so low. Khaleesi waiting to heal back up, but that time left waiting is exactly when Ev strikes. Just kills found through smokes. Bedlam on the A site. Sari's timing caught through this. We'll see if it ends up mattering. Not to be, with Edith landing the op shot. And that spike is on the right side of the wall for Gia, but with so many players left alive, FlyQuest is just going to charge in at her, eat up the bullets, turn the attention, and take themselves another round.
It's really interesting how Ghost consistently has seen the operator or spotted the operator and still hit the same side that they've seen the operator on. That round, it almost worked out for them. They actually got the site, they got the spike down, but it all fell apart because FlyQuest was so quick at getting those picks. Sari as well, maybe going a little bit too fast on the flank. Managed to get one of those picks, but was instantly traded. But the rest of the team, their post plans for Ghost, they really need to find a way to stay alive when they get that spike down. It's been so hard for them. And I think one of the main reasons is just how well FlyQuest has been able to anchor and has been able to kind of fall off the site, but use so much delay util that Ghost doesn't even have a chance at getting onto the site fast enough and then getting off and falling back into those post plant positions. I think now we're looking at this round. Ghost, they're on a low buy. 11-8. Feels like we've seen this last game ender, where they're on that 11th point. They know that they either have to force to play for the win or they play for the tie here. And it's looking like they're going to opt for that force, of course. They have the Nightfall. They have the Astral Wall. Kind of hoping to see them do something a little bit quicker, even if they spot the operator, being able to just take that site, get the post plant, and not overextend. As well, Khaleesi getting onto that site, getting an entry, and Eli being right behind her, being able to get that trade, I think, is one of the most important things on this.
Yeah, Khaleesi got off to such a hot start. In the first half was 18-6. Now 18 and 12, not able to stand up against the FlyQuest defense just yet, but maybe a chance here for Ghost. We'll have to wait and see. Their hero rifle is down in mid, so if they actually try to rip it into the site, their best bet is going to be Khaleesi's Stinger. And close range against the operator, a misfire is very simple to punish, especially now with some pressure being put down. The connector lurk in, and Edith tries to sneak on out of there. Chipped away at with the flame on the floor, and Khaleesi won't overextend past the wall. That's going to be Eli's turn on the Sheriff, and instantly punished. Ghost just going to be stuck behind their Astro Wall for now. FlyQuest can wait this out. Actually, look at Vanitas going all the way around the world. No one's playing on site really from Ghost except for Khaleesi, and every lurk has been held for. FlyQuest just anticipating the aggression. As soon as Ghost drop down in numbers, the control on these retakes has never been something FlyQuest are waiting for. They always have it. Now Vanitas can only do so much with the Sheriff. G as well will pull the players away from the spike and instantly be taken out, so no longer can play for the win, can only look for the tie and hope for OT from Ghost. They'll need 4 in a row.
Yeah, that was so hard for them to play. Khaleesi being alone on site is a huge question mark for me. Sari overextending, pushing towards that sewers. There's just so many small things with Ghost that's just not adding up when they're getting themselves in these really nice positions almost. Getting themselves in the close plant. Yes, they had low guns, but they still could have set up some sort of crossfire and denied a lot of that util that FlyQuest has used. I mean, they used the Molly at that point. They had used the KO ult. They just had to retake, but it just was not good. Ghost struggling. They're going for this fast fight again, trying to hope that something goes right.
4 players just got pinged, and Khaleesi again drops. It's a tough start, round after round for Ghost. They haven't even moved into the site, by the way. I believe the C has caught everyone. I don't know who's in charge of the Game Changer script. It must be the same people that wrote Season 8 of Game of Thrones, because I haven't seen a Khaleesi be treated so poorly at the end of a series since that. Ghost have to set up now 4v5. We'll see what Sari can do. Evening the score there, and now control over Art. Eli doesn't have any flashes to keep that fight moving forward. And Edith again has this flank with the operator. Pop flash out. It's perfectly timed, and Jazzy will follow off her own utility. By the way, Sari still on the walkabout. Last couple of rounds, this hasn't worked, but this time, Benita stepping up to draw the attention back. Sari needs both of these shots to connect, and it will not be found. Edith is too quick on it. FlyQuest will advance into the main event here at the final hour.
Yeah, this was definitely well-deserved. You can just tell that FlyQuest, they have so many of these nice protocols, the trades and the spacing drilled into them, because the way that they were playing both of these maps was really nice to watch. The mechanics are all there, the trades, the ideas, the executes, being able to default but also be a little bit quicker in tempo is really nice to watch. I think for FlyQuest, this is kind of a determining win, but also one that they can watch back and see a lot of the small issues that they had as a team, but still be proud, because at the end of the day, they played it really well. They ended up trading really, really well. I love the util from all of these players, and I think every single player did their role absolutely phenomenally for this team.
Excellent work from FlyQuest, and congratulations again. They will be advancing to the main event.